Oh shit, we're live! Welcome back to Mike. What episode is this officially now? 6. And we didn't give an episode last week.
No.
Welcome to the Authority on Wrestling podcast. We got a familiar voice.
Back.
A great BG. He's returned.
I've returned.
He's returned. We didn't want to mention it last week. But we got a birthday boy here.
Yeah.
You chalked it up to obligations. So all 5 of you listening, if you want to give him a thumbs up. We don't even have a birthday. We didn't even fucking wish him birthday on the Facebook page.
Nah.
Yeah. Mike was like, I don't know if he wants people knowing this is his birthday.
Yeah. Keep it on the down low.
So, welcome back. Big week. We got the big news this week is the Hardy Boys, or the Broken Brothers now, Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. They are not renewing with TNA. In fact, not even are they not renewing with TNA. They flat out left the company. TNA is in the process of trying to get the tag titles back because apparently they still have those.
Oh, really?
Their contracts, I think, were set to expire like next week, and there was some type of, I don't know if it was a verbal agreement that I read. There was some type of agreement that it was expected that they were going to sign, and I don't know if TNA undercut them. I don't know what it was. But they left.
Yeah, they lost a lot of people. They must be undercutting a lot.
A day later, we find out that, or today I think it broke, that Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis are done. Now, apparently, they were per date. They were working date to date, so they didn't have contracts. So they've just opted not to come back. And then Galloway.
Yeah, Drew Galloway. I think he's their current grand champion.
And he's the champion. So right now they're down 3 champs, and then they're down a significant pairing there.
And this other former champion Jade is supposed to be leaving too.
That's
so they got
a huge blow.
They got so they were just getting things back on the rails.
Yeah.
And now they're contending with this. So really interesting. Now, I don't know if you guys follow Alfred Kanawa. I'm going to butcher his last name. He writes for Forbes, but he writes exclusively, basically, on wrestling and entertainment.
Okay.
He did a big write-up yesterday that was posted to Facebook saying that he believes that WWE, if the Hardys should go back, which I think is probably the most logical option unless they go to Ring of Honor, but if the Hardys should go back, that they should go back under their classic gimmick, which I do not agree with, considering what we just saw with the Dudley Boys run.
Yeah.
Because it was cool for about a month and a half, and then you wanted something else. Like, they were flirting with giving them the tag titles. They never got it. And then there was no progression. They were just basically there to lose matches to newer tag teams.
Yeah.
And not in any type of discernible fashion either. I mean, I think the most notable thing they were involved in was Enzo and Cass's main roster debut. So that would be my concern with the Hardy Boys debut under the classic gimmick. And I think if you bring this broken gimmick in, if they're allowed to, which I think they are, because Matt Hardy had a pro wrestling tee shop that was completely separate from TNA that he was selling broken merchandise.
I do think that they own some of the rights to the Broken Hardy stuff. There's a lot of rumors going on around saying that TNA owns all that stuff, but I think it's just a creative issue. I don't think there's any copyrights on anything, and I don't think that there would be an issue if you wanted to even take that character and just change it a little bit and kind of keep what it is. My thought being, I don't know if that would work so well in WWE because of the production, not necessarily the production that they have, but the WWE likes to keep things semi-realistic. And they got away with a lot of creative stuff in TNA, especially near the end where they were doing like the teleporting and the whole... I don't know if you guys saw any of that, but...
well, yeah, like the drones and all that stuff.
They had the drones and like they had like tons of... a little bit of like paranormal stuff. Not paranormal, but like over-the-top stuff.
Yeah,
and
I don't know for the most part.
WWE does do that a little bit with Bray Wyatt, but they tend to keep it a little bit on a lower scale, and the Broken Heart thing seems a little bit too extravagant for it.
That's the fit-in, though, that I saw, was I think if you put... Because SmackDown at this point, I would say, is the veteran show.
Yeah.
It has more veteran talent on it than Raw does, and especially in top spots. You wouldn't agree with that?
Because when you immediately said veterans, I immediately thought of Goldberg, Lesnar.
Well,
but you're right. I see
Those
what
are
you're saying.
part-timers.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even really consider them. I mean, who's Goldberg going to coach on anything?
Yeah.
You're
right.
Other than doing a crappy spear and a jackhammer.
Hey.
But for them to be on SmackDown, I think would be really cool. But like that instant feud that Matt could have with Bray. Or, I mean, hell, you could even split them across the shows. You really could. I don't know if they'd be agree to it.
If I could just work off this the broken thing or the debate of whether they bring that in or not, I would say that as respectable as the Hardy brothers are in their own right, as far as their ability and what they've done, credentials and such, I think that the reason why they have such popularity right now is because of this reinvented Hardy relationship right now. Like the whole broken thing, I think, is what really brought them back.
Rejuvenated them?
Yeah, it's certainly a reinvention and something that's fresh enough where people are interested again.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, oh yeah, those guys are great, and like, yeah, they put on a good show. Like they're so reinvented now. This whole broken thing is so intriguing now, and it works so well that it's a borderline household name, the Broken Hardy thing.
That's why I think they should, if they come back to WWE, and let's face it, hypothetically, if these guys come back to WWE, we can expect that there's going to be no house shows on their contract whatsoever. I can't see them with a deal they're coming from TNA doing house shows. I can't even see them being there for every episode. I can see them taking an episode.
More of a part-time schedule?
I wouldn't say part-time, because I think they would be there more frequently than that, but I can't see them doing a full...
Maybe like a John Cena type thing?
Yeah, like every once in a while.
Three-quarters of the time.
Yeah. So, I don't see... But them coming back as the classic Hardys for a nostalgia romp, as we've seen, nostalgia romps are only cool for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason why the Sting comeback didn't, or debut rather, didn't outwear its welcome was for two reasons. Number one, it was incredibly short, and number two, you had never seen Sting in WWE before, so it had that intrigue.
It felt fresh right from the get-go.
But I think we can all agree the Goldberg thing is already starting to feel a little played out, because it's to say he comes out at the beginning of Raw, he does the entrance, which I mean is so fucking cool. I'll never get tired of the Goldberg entrance. But he does the entrance, and then he comes out and he cuts the same type of promo every time. And his promos are better than ever. They really are.
Yeah, he's other than that one where he knocked his head in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been pretty solid on the mic.
This is the best Goldberg's ever been on the mic.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's like, okay, we've seen what you can do. Even Brock Lesnar, I think we talked about this a little bit with the chair promo and stuff. I think we're all tired of Brock Lesnar having just Paul Heyman come out and advocate for him. You need to see what he's capable of doing once in a while. Yeah. Like when he ripped up the J&J security car and things like that.
And to his credit, he wasn't terrible back in 2003 when he was feuding with Angle. He did some good promos on his own. He didn't have Heyman right behind him talking over his shoulder all the time. But it's been so long, and I think he's just gotten comfortable not necessarily being the person that's just has to talk all the time and has to have some kind of creative say, and when he doesn't, just let Paul Heyman go out there, because Heyman is so good at what he does that he can just...
Oh, Heyman's definitely bar none, and it's just I need to be reminded of why Brock does what he does. And this brings me to another thing too. Last week we had our COO Rich Tobin on the show, which he should be back sometime soon. He's going to be back fairly regularly when schedule permits. He is busy with authority matters. So. But we had a little mini discussion about ramp attacks and with regards to Samoa Joe, because it's felt like all Samoa Joe, he's had I think 2 matches in an official television capacity since he's debuted on the main roster. Both the Roman Reigns one was pretty good. I thought the one this week was a little on the short end.
Yeah,
I know BG especially was really satisfied with this week's match.
I thought it was incredible. I thought it really showed off what Cesaro and Samoa Joe could do in such a limited time.
Limited time, yeah.
And telling the story of hurting Cesaro's knee which they told pretty well.
What
What were your thoughts on that?
Did he
worked out
actually
better.
hurt it?
No.
No. When,
It was
when he
just-
slipped, it looked like he
it
actually
wasn't
slipped.
worked.
No, it was just part of this.
And that kind of bugged me too because, I think because Michael Cole and whomever else wanted to call it, they kind of called Cesaro out for that injury and Samoa Joe's working on that injury now. He's using that weakness to his advantage kind of thing. And right off the bat, I'm like, oh, then it's not real. At first, I kind of thought it could have been, because it was a very unorthodox slip or landing.
Yeah, it was when he
whatever
jumped
it
over
was.
the top rope and
Because it looked like he naturally slipped.
Yeah, and it was almost like, oh shit, I kind of tweaked my knee. So right there, you kind of like, oh no, don't be hurt, Cesaro. And as soon as Samoa Joe goes for it and works on it, and then, commentary is going to go right after that too, and they're going to say, continues to work on it, and okay, then it's not a real injury. But at the same time, it was annoying to think that, I guess they want to be so consistent and with the whole shoving down your throat of that he's the destroyer. He may just injure anybody who comes his way, kind of thing. And it's like, all right, I get that's the angle you want to go with, and maybe it'll work as a character. But I guess the purest wrestling fan, I guess in me, wants to see just put on a good match, flat out. Just both of those guys go at it, tear the house down. And obviously you want to put Joe over, and I understand that, logistics-wise. I'm not upset about that. It's just the fact that, it was 2 or 3 minutes into the match, not even, and all of a sudden, Cesaro's the weakling who can't, he can't really seal the deal because now he's injured, and Joe just really seeked out the bloody wound and just poured salt on it,
Well, I think it did tell a good story. I think Cesaro still did he did not look weak in that match. I don't think he did.
Especially at first because he was kind of the aggressor at first, which was surprising. It was cool to see him very much on offense.
I love the diving uppercut as he was coming down.
Yeah,
even
cool.
after he got his knee worked on, he did that stalling deadlift German suplex.
Oh my god,
insane! And I was like, "There's no way."
Yeah, and he just it was not the weight distribution was not in his favor, and he still managed. He's just a beast.
I will say, and I think they just started doing it this week because they just did it with the Styles Harper match too. WWE's been putting out those slow-mo videos.
Yeah.
Of it seems to be awesome. The most technically proficient match of the week. But those are really cool, especially with a guy like Joe where everything's very impactful and stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, I liked the match. I just thought it was a little on the short end, which they had that segment that was coming out after it, but I hardly think this is going to be the last time those two face off.
I
not.
was going to say,
I hope not.
I do think it was a little short, but I do think that that could just be a tease. They could do something a little bit later down the road and do a callback to this match. And,
I friggin' hope so because, we all know that they've had a relationship in prior divisions and for years.
Ring of Honor and stuff.
And they've tore the house down and numerous times elsewhere. So to be on the grand stage of them all, as far as division goes, it'd be great for your average fan to be able to see what they can do.
Yeah.
The people that haven't really known their history and such. And I think it's cool that they even touched upon them having a prior relationship so early. He just a random backstage segment where Sheamus is kind of hanging out with Cesaro and sure enough, Joe kind of comes over and kind of belittles Cesaro of being a borderline mid-carder, of going nowhere, never taking advantage of the opportunities. And it's cool to see them that
chemistry or that passion between
them. There's a natural chemistry and very believable feud.
On the same note, something I really did I don't know, maybe if I'm just not thinking correctly, but I haven't seen a character like Samoa Joe come around where he is with the Authority, but he's on his own. Not with the Authority, but he's clearly with Triple H and on his own, but he's still not at Triple H's hip. He went out in the back and was cutting promos with he was seeing different people in the background doing his own thing.
Yeah, he wasn't. Seth Rollins, as awesome as he is, and as great as he did, playing that role, he was stooge, complete at the hip stooge of he might as well just been attached to Hunter's leg.
Yeah, he had J&J security following him around everywhere.
Yeah, he was complete. But and then you have KO that was kind of like an unofficial.
He's like an outlier. It's still ambiguous.
Second week in a suit though.
Yeah, but it's still ambiguous to where he lies. There's not a lot of information there. With Joe though, like I feel like the theme of WWE this week has been, to a degree, some slight inconsistency, and I'll tie this into some of the other topics we'll bring up as we go. But with Joe, they keep reinforcing the fact that like Cesaro's, oh, you follow Triple H around. This week was the second time we've even seen him with Triple H. Well, third if you count the initial beatdown.
But he's only been around for 4 weeks.
But he hasn't been with. I haven't seen him do enough with Triple H where, like, everybody's, oh, you follow Triple H around, like it's this big historic thing that he's been doing for a while.
Now, they make it known because they did the backstage interview, and he, in that backstage interview with Michael Cole, said, like, yes, I'm working with Triple H, but I'm not his... Yeah, I'm not his puppet. I'm doing what I want.
I think just storyline wise, they're just trying to further the fact that he is a Triple H guy. I mean, despite him kind of being, like you said, kind of works on his own. He's kind of his own man, but they still want to make it known, like, no, he's Triple H's made man. Like, Triple H handpicked him, and he's gonna be right by his side.
Yeah, he's the destroyer.
And then, obviously that match culminated with Sami Zayn. The roles were reversed. It was a Sami Zayn ramp attack.
Yep.
So we ended with a ramp attack. But so we kind of had a little humorous conversation about it last week, and Tobin's all for the ramp attacks. I really thought about it this week, and what I think it comes down to, a problem that WWE's had for a long time, is the utilization of the arena as a space, as a playing field, if you will. In the Attitude Era, they were really good about, and I don't like just coming back to the Attitude Era, but it's the one that stands out in everybody's mind. They're really good about, you'll see the limo pull in, you'll see somebody get out. They do interviews in different spots. You'll see a locker room segment. You'll see this, you'll see that. They'll even have matches spill out into the back. Now, I know the women's match a couple of weeks ago spilled out into the back and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like they've been working on that recently.
But Raw still feels like everything occurs within the physical realm of the crowd and the arena itself, and it's it kind of, I remember about a month or two ago, I was listening to Sam Roberts' podcast, and he was talking about how Raw flew by one night, and it was a good episode, but it flew by because Charlie Caruso, who does the backstage interviews, the MVP of Raw.
Yeah,
they had her doing interviews all over the place. They had her in the ring. They had her on the ramp. They had her do it at the backstage set. They had her do it at like the garage when somebody pulled in the locker room. So they had her all over the place. So it felt like we were traversing a lot of ground. And it was one of those things, like, I didn't really realize until he had pointed it out. But I was like, wow, you're right. But even beyond interviews, like, I want to see, like, attacks. Remember when they had Brock Lesnar? I think it was attack Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Like last year. It was before they came in, or when they had Nia Jax attack Sasha when she was doing the tryout in the ring before Raw like a month ago.
That was very unique.
Things like that are really cool, and I think we need to see more of them because it just exists within this like staging that they have, and that it takes you out of the element, I guess.
So you're thinking that they should utilize the arena more as a character and kind of like not as a character per se, but like give a little bit of life to it and like show that it's I don't know how to like.
Well, it's that plot,
multidimensional,
that
just
plot
like
that we
the
talked about
kind of thing.
Why do these guys? Because there's some of these feuds that are competitive. Mm-hmm. Most of them are personal. Why do these guys and girls wait till they have like a sanctioned match for them, and I'm not saying that it should be like this every time, but once in a while they need to exercise these I don't want to say demons, but like they need to exercise these feelings prior to the match or whatever, because we're told on a week in week out basis these feuds are so deeply personal, and then you just see them settle in the ring, be it some form of a singles match or some tag match or something like that. So I think them using the arena more, it could be cool. Or even like when they go to each other's houses and smack the shit out of each other's parents and stuff.
I do agree with you on that. I do think that they're, especially with a lot of them that are personal, kind of are, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it has to do a lot with suspension of disbelief. And when you're watching the show, you're supposed to just take it as a show, even though they present it as realism. And with those feuds that are a little bit more personal, I do think it would add a little bit more realism if you had somebody like you said. I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but talking about the Randy Orton Wyatt feud, how something they did this week was they brought in a little bit of personality to that, where they added an extra amount of the shed or the kingdom.
Yeah,
and Sister Abigail was kind of personified. For the first time.
Well. So that was another thing, and once again, like my theme of the week for me has been inconsistency. So Sister Abigail has been something that Bray Wyatt has been going on about for a long period of time. There's been lulls where he hasn't mentioned her as much, but we've never gotten a lot of backstory. We got that stupid illusion thing when she like appeared in the ring. You remember that at the Hell in a Cell? Which didn't make any, because Bray Wyatt, if I remember correctly, got injured shortly after that or something. Because I think they were going to put him in the championship picture. Because that one, if I remember correctly, was Rollins and
Dean Ambrose.
He
just came back from injury.
Oh, okay. I remember there was an injury in there somewhere. Yeah. But they had Sister Abigail in the ring. And then they have Randy Orton now with this, it was a very cool promo in terms of we don't usually get to see things like that.
Yeah.
But there's a few immediate questions. Number one, why did Randy Orton give up his Mania spot 2 weeks ago?
He said that. Well, you asked the questions. I'll try to answer them.
Okay, you try, because I watched the promo and I didn't find an answer to that in there.
He did say that his original plan was to break apart the family, tear them down piece by piece. The reason he gave up his spot at WrestleMania 2 weeks ago was twofold. For storyline reasons, to build up the story because they had 7 weeks to go. For the storyline reasons, they did it because he said that it would give Bray Wyatt a further reason to trust him. And that at that point, that's when Bray Wyatt gave him the keys to the kingdom, quote unquote. Which was apparently just the keys to the shed where Sister Abigail was buried.
Kingdom.
Which is hilarious because the shed is like, the size of a bathroom.
Yeah, it was very small.
But the thing with the Sister Abigail is he's been going on about it for so long, and it has no gravitas. I actually have a theory about Sister Abigail, which I will bring up. But there's no gravitas to it. Like, I don't know what that signifies. Maybe we'll find out in the coming weeks. But he's been going on about it for so long, and the Wyatts have been around, I believe, for about 3 years now, maybe even longer than that.
Yeah, if you count NXT, about 4 years.
Yeah, so they've been around. No, I think they've been
5
on
years.
the main roster like 4 years.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they've been around for a while, and I feel like we should have a clearer idea. And I love Bray Wyatt, I do. I've been like a supporter since day one, but we should have a clearer idea of what Sister Abigail is and what she stands for. Now, as far as to what I think it is as everyone in this room knows, but maybe not everybody listening, I'm a huge heavy metal fan. Yep. Now, in listening to interviews with Bray Wyatt's a big heavy metal fan too. He doesn't cite this particular artist, but King Diamond has an album called Abigail, and Abigail is a concept album, and it's about, if I remember loosely, it's about this couple that basically has like this demon seed of a child that they have to like put down. So they have like some priest come in and they like nail a silver spike in each of Abigail's limbs, and then some other couple moves into the house and somehow unearths her, and because she's buried beneath the house, and she comes to life and wreaks havoc. Now, considering Randy Orton's actions with actually trying to burn down he was digging and then he starts burning down the shed, I almost have to wonder if Bray Wyatt has taken some inspiration for Sister Abigail from the Abigail album, because it's the closest correlation I can think of.
He did mention in one of his promos a couple of years ago that he was with Sister Abigail at her final moments when she died. So that does imply that she was kind of a real person, and maybe he still was using the influence of that. I think now she's more of just like I don't know if an effigy is the correct word, but like just a presence that he feels and kind of does everything he does. Like
they have to do more with it. Like when they did that supernatural thing when she appeared in the ring, I thought that was kind of cool. I know a lot of people thought it was goofy and stuff, but like I felt like if they continued in that front, because Bray Wyatt, they've always flirted with the supernatural element, like when he had that feud with Undertaker.
Yeah.
And then with those elements, but then there's times where they get away from it and he's just kind of like a backwoods guy that like believes this thing, but you're never quite sure why he believes it. So, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about it?
I don't know. I gotta say, like, it kind of doesn't have to be elaborated too far. I think maybe I'm alone on that one, but I feel as if like you know that something's kind of paranormal and whatnot. You know that he's working with some other kind of spirit, like his sister Abigail's spirit, whatever it may be, gives him motive,
Purpose.
drive, purpose. He feels very strong about her because he was driven to pretty much tears.
That was amazing.
And it's not just because of a shed, So I'm not sure if you need 100% backstory as to who the individual was to him, where how she died, or how old was she. I don't know if you need all of that background. Maybe it would be cool for just to kind of get to the bottom of it as a fan wanting to know more, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary.
I don't feel that I personally, as somebody that wants more info, needs that. I need to know why he believes and trusts in her implicitly enough that she's his guiding force as a character. Because with all the characters, you understand their motivation to a degree. Like John Cena's is that he loves the wrestling business, that he never gives up.
Yeah.
Miz's is that he's awesome, and he thinks that he deserves more than what he has.
Yeah.
I once again, I'm a huge fan of Bray Wyatt, but I don't get why this guy from the backwoods is driven to like carry a belt and do what he does. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well,
what do you think, Scumbag?
I think that's a large factor as to why he wasn't given the belt or a belt back when we thought he was plenty ready for it, was because of the fact of his demeanor is as if, and gold, silver, whatever it is, he doesn't need those. He doesn't need that at all. He doesn't need a strap to prove it. He was there just to like show his dominance. Flat out, I'm going to show you the power that I have, what I stand for, and my dominance. Not like, oh, who's the guy that I need to fucking battle in order to get this belt because I want that belt. He was never that guy.
Yeah,
but
I agree. A lot of my friends were complaining for a couple of years, like, why doesn't Bray Wyatt have a belt? Why doesn't he have a belt? And I told him, like, he's one of the few characters left in WWE, and it makes complete sense for his character not to chase a belt. Like, he's the eater of worlds, and he just wants to cause chaos. Like, he doesn't... Owning a belt's not going to cause chaos.
A belt is like a symbol of, like, vanity.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. It's like the Joker in The Dark Knight, where, like, he, like, all the huge pile of money, he just lights it on fire. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
Well,
he doesn't need to be like, look how rich I am now, because that's, he just... I like the chaos. I like showing people that I can do this. And
I really liked that feud with Cena for WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
Because his whole... I can't remember the exact specifics, but his whole thing was like, no, I'm going to show you, Cena, that they don't care about you. And that, like, like, when you're broken down to nothing, you'll mean nothing to all of them, despite everything that you think you've done to ensure...
Yeah, that was fantastic.
And I thought that was really cool. The problem was the payoff didn't work because they had, once again, John Cena and didn't give up and he overcame the odds. But I got that Bray Wyatt. That Bray Wyatt made sense.
Yeah.
But now that he has the belt, and they're bringing the Sister Abigail thing to the forefront, I need a little bit more from it, personally. Yeah. And look, it's still early. The fact of the matter is it's Wednesday right now that we're recording. It'll be Thursday when this airs, but it was last night.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's more to come. But it was just one of those things that just struck me as a little odd, and I thought the promo was cool and everything, but...
I thought, the promo was fantastic. Yeah,
I was just going to say, before we go on to anything else...
Yeah, I want to continue about that,
the Sister Abigail thing, I had someone tell me today that, like, it kind of, last night kind of destroyed all hopes of them actually bringing in a real Sister Abigail. And I think, on the contrary...
Which is kind of frustrating.
No, I think, like, the opposite. Like, now, you have a reason, like, the bones that were under the house were burned and everything. Now, it gives Bray Wyatt he needs to find a new Sister Abigail, a new purpose. Like, so now he can go out and find someone else to give him that.
And I mean, if we're going to talk, say we get really far-fetched here, right? Just in Dreamland. If he is so supernatural, really, really messes with the senses and properties of being that we don't understand, right?
Yep.
Summoning things and whatever. What do you think would be the possibility of him, say, continuing this whole thing right now? Say he goes to the site. He goes to the broken down, burned up shed. He's maybe salvage whatever he can, or maybe just kind of reflecting and looking. And say for instance, he kind of comes across maybe an intact bone.
Yep.
Something like that. And maybe he grabs a few here and there, something like that. Maybe even tries to scrounge up whatever he can.
He's gonna build Sister Abigail.
And then he kind of does this. Maybe you want to go with this whole thing of like where he really gets really dark and really psychotic and
almost goes into psycho.
Yeah, and maybe he even tries to summon like and
it turns out to be Ember Moon.
No, I mean, it could be a thing. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy to think about.
No, I think that's interesting.
Probably would not happen, but for them to go that route, I think it would be interesting, and I think we're enough of adults to be like, yeah, we get that that's fake and like and absurd, but to be that kid again, and but almost like
terrifying.
When I was a kid watching the Ministry Undertaker and all that stuff go down was really creepy to see them gonna sacrifice Stephanie on that, like all that stuff. Like at that age was pretty creepy, but really intriguing. And to think of like say him doing this whole thing. I mean, your average adult maybe like, oh, they're going crazy right now.
Yeah.
This is a little too far-fetched. But at the same time, this is a product for all ages, and to be that age, especially the age that really buys the products, I think it would be cool if they were to maybe he wants to
just bring her back.
Some weird like voodoo thing where like he's doing some weird like remember like Undertaker used to speak in tongues and stuff like maybe he does that kind of thing, and then all of a sudden smoke appears and all of a sudden it's a
I'm a total sucker when they do the effects-based mysticism shit.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of cool because it brings you back to like that time, like when you first started watching like the early '90s, late '80s. When they were doing shit like that.
The smoke and mirrors is cool if they do it properly.
I do have to say, I love the "Can you hear me now" moment when Randy appeared on the screen. He's like, "Randy, can you see me?" Randy!
That was great.
The rocking chair was another thing. I mean, they've done numerous things with the rocking chair,
where it just keeps rocking
and smoking or whatever it may be. I remember it started on fire in the ring at one point in time.
Yeah.
The Undertaker hit it with lightning.
You can see the tray underneath that lit.
But still, I mean, so it is cool when they do like paranormal stuff like that. And do you foresee maybe them going that extreme and that far?
I don't, but I would be all right with it.
Oh, you'd be okay with it.
Not to get away from that too much, but I do want to talk about the one thing I wish doesn't happen with Wyatt.
Okay.
Is I hope that this doesn't turn him into a weak person again. Like I don't want him just to go on a losing streak because he has nothing. I hope this like enrages something in him and creates a monster. And now that he has no Luke Harper and no Eric Rowan and no Randy Orton and his little shack is burned down, I hope that he realizes he has nothing and he really has stuff. But I know the keys to the kingdom. What a shitty kingdom.
Well, let's.
No, I completely agree with you. He got the belt.
Yeah.
He looks stronger than ever now. He looks as strong as he should have looked for a long time because it seemed like he would gain some steam, be an intimidating factor, loses.
Absolutely. Don't let that happen.
So it's cool that he's got that now. I think they'll continue with it. But I wholeheartedly agree with you. Don't make him look weak.
Well, let's go not hypothetical. It's looking at this point, and I think this is going to blow up in WWE's face worse than the Roman Reigns experiment has. But it's looking like they're going to take the the shot away from AJ, and it's going to go to Randy Orton. That's what it's looking
like.
If you watch Talking Smack last night, there was a segment on there
Shane,
where they left it very ambiguous because Shane was like, well, we got a lot of thinking to do, which is so fucking stupid because they make triple threats all the friggin' time in the plot line, and they have no issue doing it. And now, this one time, they're going to create a rift in the story so they can get this Shane AJ match, which is looking like they're going to do out of the way.
I hate that.
And
I think mutually everybody hates that.
Everybody hates it.
We all like Shane. We can all agree on that. But
we got our spot from him. And we're good for a while.
Exactly. And we know that he always puts his body and everything on the line, which is always really, you commend that. It's very respectable. But when it comes down to it, it's like, dude, you have the phenomenal one. This guy could put on the best match you'd probably ever see
and once
at WrestleMania, the biggest event.
I say it every week, and no, it's not Mickey James. I say it every week, but AJ Styles carried SmackDown and will likely continue to carry SmackDown in John Cena's absence.
Absolutely.
That is huge. The amount of talent that you've had that's been around WWE, that's on SmackDown, that's been around for a significant period of time, between Ziggler, Miz, Ambrose is behind there somewhere in the pack. But the fact that they trusted AJ Styles, who's only been with WWE a little over a year now, and even less when they actually put the mantle on him, is huge. I don't think you reward that with the Shane McMahon match that's in the smack dab middle of the card.
He absolutely deserves better. I could think of 3 better matches off the top of my head. I think that you could insert him into the title picture, make it a 4-way with Luke Harper, because I think Luke Harper really needs to be in that match, because otherwise he has nowhere to go.
Why would they give him this much steam and take that away?
I
too?
know.
That's bullshit if they're going to do
that.
that.
But if they go with Orton Wyatt, I don't see an instance where Orton beats Wyatt at Mania. I just can't see that happening.
It's WWE. They could do that.
Well, they could, but I just don't see them doing that at this point because how many times has Orton had his time in the sun? I
think he's a 12-time champion if I'm not mistaken.
So
But
then again, they just gave John Cena the belt for 2 weeks, just to get him to 16.
They love doing that, and they're probably going to put the strap on fucking Brock Lesnar and Goldberg too. So
so it's just, to me, I don't know.
What are the other 2 matches?
Sorry.
AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, which we talked a little bit last week. If Raw had a representative and SmackDown had a representative.
I completely forgot we talked about that.
And that would be incredible, but I think at the moment right now, it'd almost be premature. Only because and who knows, they probably had that in the works before he got injured.
Yeah.
But then you have to start rewriting everything when he's down and out. So maybe he gets enough steam, for, say, post-WrestleMania, because he's going to come back any minute now.
Have a big SummerSlam match.
Right? That'd be a great SummerSlam match, or save it for next WrestleMania.
Yeah. The third match is, and they could even kind of still do this, instead of Shane wrestling him, have him get a representative and have him use Shinsuke Nakamura.
The Battle of the Billions. That would be great too. And I think we talked about Shinsuke potentially last week, right?
So too.
Yeah, I think we did. But I just there's no interest from every wrestling fan I've talked to, and I know a decent amount of wrestling fans who are big into it, and I'm sure you guys have talked to people too. I haven't spoken to one person who gives an iota of a shit about Shane McMahon wrestling at this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's just, we already had him on the Survivor Series team. Why? Who the fuck knows?
Yep.
Almost died.
He's fine being the commissioner. He got hurt there, and on top of it, he gets gassed so quickly in the ring now. Yeah. He gets gassed incredibly quickly.
It's one of those things. It's another one of those things where it's like all right, you impressed us with what you've put on the line, and. Okay, we're good. We're good with that. You proved yourself.
Yeah,
hats off
to
you.
Need to do it anymore.
Thank you. Move on. But instead, it's like now you're killing it. Don't ruin what you've established. Now you just kind of
doing it.
Yeah, it's.
And with AJ Styles can make anyone look good in the ring, but it would be easier for him to make someone even like the Undertaker, where he's a little bit slower and injured, but Undertaker's big enough where AJ Styles could make it look like he's getting himself tossed around a bunch and put on a good match. Shane McMahon's going to have to do something in this match to like keep up with.
The problem is Shane McMahon has next to no offense outside of the spots that he knows how to do, and those crappy punches, those little rubber punches that he does.
You know what? It's the more and more I think about it, dude. It is such a poor utilization of AJ Styles.
It's seriously
AJ Styles is the friggin' phenomenal.
It's sucking my zeal for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I'm because I was so excited. So Styles Harper. Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Easily match of the week.
Yeah,
easily
amazing match.
Yeah, definitely the best match of the week.
And the constant is always friggin' AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Oh, this match with so and so was one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. It's always AJ Styles and whomever else.
To be fair though, Luke Harper held his own in that match.
Don't get me wrong. I love this dude right now.
Okay.
Harper, we all know that it's a guy who it's been a long time coming, and he's in the friggin' by far the best shape he's ever been in, and he is impressing arenas right now. They are popping for him, and it's well deserved.
Follow up on this. If they don't follow up on the Luke Harper doing something,
sneezing on the air,
sneezing on the air.
It's gonna really like just take the steam out of me. I really need to see him do something, whether it's win the IC belt or have some kind of main title picture, and not just.
I think it's so.
They could have won the Battle Royal.
It's so it's so insanely undeniable that they're giving a push right now, and it's being well received.
Yeah,
it's one thing to try to give somebody a push, and it's just the crowd isn't. They're not grabbing it, and so on and so forth. But
sorry, everybody.
Dude, crowd is popping for him.
Yeah, and I like the Luke chants. The Luke. Yeah. Luke. Those are cool.
And they even had a AJ Styles, Let's Go Harper. Finally.
Yep.
They got that together. Let's Go Harper.
But easily match of the week. I was so stoked when number one they had the fake pin, and I was like, oh fuck, here we go.
Oh, the leg up?
And then they had the real pin, and I'm like, holy shit, he's going he's made WrestleMania. And then they have the Orton segment, and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me! It's so clear what direction they're going in now, and it completely just sucked my enthusiasm and excitement. And to go on with what Brent said, he's the common denominator in every phenomenal match.
Yeah,
this year.
I'll use that word.
Yeah,
constantly.
he's the common denominator in every great match that's happened this year. I was talking to my friend the other day. She has a 7-year-old son. Her son's favorite wrestler is AJ Styles. Yeah. This guy's a heel right now.
Yeah.
And he's existing in the time of John Cena, when no matter what, you have John Cena, and now that's on the rise is Bayley, as the two biggest probably merch movers for kids. And this kid's favorite wrestler is AJ Styles.
Yeah.
He doesn't have flashy colors. He wears blue, gray, and black.
Yeah.
And he just has phenomenal matches. He's not like a super colorful character. He's just that damn good.
I'll tell you what, he's that damn good, and he's super likable even as a heel.
Yeah.
And entertaining, because he's got this
he has charisma.
A goofball, borderline slapstick,
Big John Cena.
Yeah, Southern charm thing about him. That even when he's trying to be Mr. Mean bad guy, it's still you kind of want you
come on, guy.
His little witty comments back there, trying to be sly and shit like that. It works for him. His backstage segment, I forgot what he said in particular, but he did the you told about that guy that looks like the hair that's caught in a drain. It was brilliant. You had both Daniel Bryan and Shane cracking up because of that. And he keeps on going on too, and it's he's supposed to be the heel, but he's so goofy too and likable. You can't help but like him, and that's something to be said as far as the 7-year-old
I was
to someone
blown away. I'm talking to her, and she said. Oh, my son's favorite wrestler is AJ Styles. And I was like, really? Because I only thought AJ was connecting with people our age. Because, for example, and I know it's taboo to bring him up, but, when I was a kid, and I don't want to compare AJ Styles to him directly, but when I was a kid, I never got Chris Benoit. He never made sense to me. He's a guy that came out
Right.
and had long matches.
Right. Yep.
Did nothing to advance storyline.
As a kid, right.
And I was like, this sucks. And then I remember it was around the Ruthless Aggression era when I started getting more into the art of it and not the story.
Technicality.
Yeah, because when I was a kid,
Yeah.
my favorite matches were hardcore matches.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bleeding. It's fucking awesome.
Bleeding, bloody
You know,
brawls,
and I
and
was
funny
like,
and cool
holy shit,
characters,
Chris
yeah.
Benoit is the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal.
Insane
like, just like
technician.
incredible. And AJ Styles is similar. I mean, he's obviously, his character is a lot more vocal. I think he's better on the mic than Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
But if I put my shoes, if I put myself in the shoes of 12-year-old Maddie McKeegs,
Mhm.
I don't see how I could connect with an AJ Styles. And maybe if I was growing up here now, maybe it would be different. But when she told me that a 7-year-old boy, his favorite wrestler was AJ Styles, I was completely dumbfounded by that. I did not expect that answer. I figured it was going to be John Cena. You know, I even figured Dolph Ziggler because he wears colorful shit, or Kalisto.
Yeah, like I told you about that other kid.
I figured Kalisto or something. Nope, AJ Styles, and I think that just speaks volume to how good he is.
Yeah.
But so the other thing we had on SmackDown, they've been setting it up for a few weeks, and we had the Miz and Cena promo at the beginning. And per the two of them, it was a great promo.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
As a whole, I think it was great. I know
Yeah.
like everyone's kind of dreading the whole like Nikki and Maurice thing. And, like, I get that, but as a whole, when you want to be unbiased about it, it was a great promo.
There's consistency with Cena's character, the way he's existing now, which is like, you want to call me a part-timer, I'm still here, I could like... There's consistency there.
I love the fact that he says, do you think if I had any kind of pull in this company where I could just call my shots and do what I want to do, that I'd be right now heading to WrestleMania, standing in the ring with you?
Yeah.
Like, that's like great, because like, yeah, of course, he even acknowledges the fact that people online, IWC wants to talk about like, it should be Cena and Taker or something like that. He even says that, like, well, I should be facing Undertaker, and like the crowd goes wild. He's like, see?
Yeah.
It's almost like breaking the fourth wall to an extent. Like they're acknowledging the reality of what IWC's input is and what the dirt sheets are saying and shit like that. But like that, as a whole, yeah, his promo, his side of it, Miz's side, Miz was brutally.
I love those. Now you can talk.
Miz does a wonderful job of taking a knife and poking you with it and sliding it deeper and deeper and deeper, and eventually starting to twist that knife.
Yeah.
And like laughing in with a smug manner.
He's such a good, pretentious asshole heel.
Oh my god, so good. And then to cap it off, the cherry on the Sunday is now you can talk. Like, turn his mic back on. Now you can talk.
It was so well done.
He's consistent on the mic as far as like being completely reeling you in and being like, wow, this guy, he's good at what he does.
But then again, the theme of the week, for me, inconsistency.
Well, here's where it falls apart. They've been building it up, but
here's where it falls apart. And we touched upon this with Tobin last week. Nikki and Cena are never seen together.
This is why I like it.
But it's just odd. Like Tobin pointed out last week, Maurice is beating Nikki Bella.
I said that. I'm taking credit for that.
Yeah,
I was like, why didn't John Cena come out and help her?
She's getting beat with a pipe.
Yeah.
And Miz is like, no, you're taking it too far. And refs are pulling Nikki Bella away. So, that's odd. But then they've been doing this build where Nikki Bella has been like randomly bumping into Maurice and like the makeup powder, and there was another one in there. There's one where she fell in through the stanchion thing they had, right? They've had that. They don't mention that. No, it's a slap to the face of John Cena. Yeah. That it's like, oh, that was going to be super couple versus super couple.
Yeah.
So the segment fell apart for me when that element of it came into it. Well, I did. I'm going to break you, bitch. Like that was kind of funny.
I thought that was great. I thought that was great because she, number one, she is not very good on the mic, and nor is she very believable at all whatsoever when she's on the mic.
And you know what?
Yeah, like we all want to regurgitate when she starts trying to cut any kind of promo, so to keep it short and sweet like that, and it seemed very like fueled up as far as like
aggressive. Yeah,
she was very like it seemed very real, as if like there's a fight in a nightclub, and while it's getting broken up, you know, one of the girls is being, you know, I'll break you, bitch, and then fucking, you know, come with me, and they break them up, and then never see each other again. That was it. It was believable as far as like her performance, but she only had to say 5 words, if that.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from this, and I don't know if anyone else picked up on it again. I don't know if anyone else picked up on it. Is I know a lot of people were like hesitant about this match and everything, and I was too until this week. And the reason I'm looking so forward to it is because in those promos, I don't think I've seen John Cena, The Miz, or Nikki Bella have so much fun. When they were doing those promos, it looked like they were enjoying what they were doing. Like, it seemed like... Because John Cena is usually in, like, big-name feuds, and he has to, like, be the tough guy. Like, and this one is very easy to see. Like, he's going to kind of just destroy The Miz. And The Miz is... He kind of knows his role in this. And it just looks like they're going out there, and they're just... They know it's kind of a throwaway match, but they're going to have fun with it. And I really enjoyed seeing them.
They are two couples that love each other, and you know what? It was blatantly evident that when, you know, she did the I'll break your bitch and, you know, Miz and Maurice run away kind of thing, and then maybe the music hits, right? And it's just Cena and Nikki in the ring, and they kind of give each other a hug and the kiss. You could tell that, like, she is so she's over the moon with being able to do this with her man right now, and even he is kind of like, this is kind of cool. Like, I'm a proud boyfriend right now, and like, who knows? Like, you know, the word in the street is that like he
suppose he's gonna propose to her.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that now. When I wanted to bring it up 2 weeks ago, you said no, we're not talking about that.
So did I?
I don't remember. If that is the final
we're close
the payoff to all that, then that's cool. But yeah, I you know, I like that you brought that up because
I'll break you, bitch.
I didn't even think of saying that or you know, bring that up. But that's a very good point. Like they all look like they're kind of enjoying what they're doing right now, and although it may be like underutilizing Cena, he's too big of a name to do that. Maybe Miz should be going for a belt or something like that. What they're doing together, Miz and Cena have main evented WrestleMania.
Yeah, they've done it before.
And now they're going to face each other at WrestleMania again, with their partners as well, which is, it's different to see. For me, I like I said, there was a long period of time where I didn't watch. I don't know if Miz and Maurice ever did anything as a combo.
No, I think they got married after her run was done.
But I know for a fact, right? This is like the first time we've ever seen Cena and Nikki on-screen chemistry as far as the product goes, rather than just Diva show or something like that, right?
Absolutely.
So I think it's interesting that it's a new on-screen thing.
Yeah.
We all know they're in a relationship. And we all know, oh my god, here we go, boyfriend.
It's public on Total Divas and Total Bellas.
It's cool to see what they're going to do on-screen chemistry-wise. Because they have to go with kayfabe, but also their real life. And, you know, where does it go?
Just blending it all together.
Yeah.
I did love how they're getting you primed up for it, though, and they did the Carmella James Ellsworth promo.
Yeah, that's where I noticed the fun.
He's like, are you making fun of my girl that's a friend? And I do. We don't talk about him often. I do have to give it up for James Ellsworth though, because the dude is like the ultimate slot player. Whatever they've had him do, he like commits full-heartedly to it, and he nails it.
Yeah,
he fucking nails it.
He knows he's being a goof, like dweeb dork kind of guy. Yeah, he knows he's the joke, but he's playing that perfectly.
And it didn't take I don't even think it took him any time at all to like fall. He's completely comfortable when he has to do interviews or promos or anything like that, and he plays everything off perfectly. And I'm excited to actually see him get some ring time next week. I am always a James Ellsworth corner. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And it's kind of cool because it builds Carmella too.
Yeah, and the thing is, you got a lot of IWC fucking bitching and moaning about like, oh, Carmella's better than this. They really, you know, they're underutilizing her, you know, and having to stick her with James Ellsworth. Why doesn't James Ellsworth just die already? Blah, blah, poor Carmella. And the thing is, like, dude, she has a very bright and long future ahead of her if she can stay healthy. She has plenty of time to do all kinds of friggin'...
And this is memorable, too, because they could have her...
Of course it is.
They could have her... I mean, it's more memorable than, like like Mickey James, Becky Lynch, for instance. I'm not going to get off.
It's almost
on this,
like
but
who's better for whom? Is this Ellsworth being with Carmella better for Carmella, or is it Carmella being with Ellsworth better for Ellsworth? You know, exactly. It's they're utilizing them as they should right now, just to kind of, you know, they're working with it, experiment a little bit. He's somebody that they're paying probably pennies for under contract, entertaining the crowd. People love, you know, a lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it, but you get a lot of people that love it because it's just flat out entertaining.
They should do.
And she's gonna, you know, get some good screen time right now.
Yeah. And
work with her character. Work off of another person, and like I said, dude, she has plenty of time ahead of her.
This just came to me right now, but so the New Day's hosting WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. They should have James Ellsworth announce himself as the host of the pre-show. And like not the panel, like he should just come out and be like, "Welcome to the pre-show," and stuff. That would be awesome. Like people would lose their freaking minds if he did that and stuff. But like he should just be the host of all be like, "Oh, I'm gonna host the," or be like he's hosting the next SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. They're like, "Oh, well," and he's running out there with a microphone and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge him. We moved off of Raw. We went right to SmackDown because I do think it was a better show this week. But we did have a big moment with Seth Rollins coming back, cutting an extremely ambiguous promo, which is still ambiguous because Triple H then comes out, which is odd because it's always considered this big event when Triple H. They never want to make it like he's sitting right behind the curtain. They're always like, "Oh, well, Triple H isn't here. He's not here." And then all of a sudden he's just there. But Triple H is there. And then they do this fucking, like, he's like, "Yeah, you better not do it. You better not be at Mania. I'm telling you, it's in your best interest not to be there."
He specifically said, "Don't be at Mania. Don't call me out.
Don't do it. Don't do it." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm going to be there." And, like, so it was one of the strangest promos I think I've watched in a long time. Because, well, you got Samoa Joe standing behind him. And then you got Triple H literally goading him, like, "You better not do it." And, like, he's just like, "Yeah, well, I'm doing it." After he just said he wasn't going to be able to do it. So we don't even know if there's a match. I mean, presumably that's what they're doing. But did that come off strange to you guys, too?
It absolutely came out strange and weird. And I don't know if they're going to do a match. I think they might just do a segment because I don't think Rollins will be 100%. But it was really weird, especially when Triple H is like, "You better not show up at Mania and you better not call me out at WrestleMania."
I know what you're thinking. You better not do it.
Like, what a cheesy.
It's like telling a kid like not to play in a fucking puddle. like you know. I don't know.
It was just weird.
I gotta say, man, if we want to kind of talk about that segment, I don't know about you guys, but I was super, super bummed out of how little of a reaction Rollins got. How little respect he got, and the fact that they wanted all these friggin' guys, all these people want to do a CM Punk chant.
That was annoying.
Really? I get, like, it's funny to do the CM Punk chant every now and then. Like,
it's not funny.
It's not cute.
You know, like I guess in Chicago, go for it. Yeah. Whatever you want to be, you know. He's our guy, go for it.
The fact of the matter is, with Punk, is he threw his, and I mean, look, I might be the only one person in the room that feels this. He threw his nose up in the air. Anybody who listened to those Colt Cabana podcasts, he came off like a pompous asshole in a lot of it. And he came off as standing on ceremony. So for a guy that just like literally turned his back on like an opportunity that like a James Ellsworth, for instance, would fucking kill for, and to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not happy because I can't main event WrestleMania this year."
James Ellsworth, like a Dolph Ziggler would kill for a position like that. There's so many people that would
to turn around and shirk that. And leave, and then these idiot fans sit there. "Oh, we want Punk back." Fuck you. He's not coming back, and even if he does, like he's got some serious making up to do. If he wasn't happy, that was one thing, and there was a way to go about that exodus. But to go about it in that way, and then to sit there and try to do this like expose on behind the scenes and what a shitty place to work it is, when you have all these people who say the exact opposite and would kill to be in the spot that he's in. Fuck him. And fuck any fans that want to sit there and hijack a show chanting his name.
Yeah. Did you hear the just to really kind of briefly go off that, did you hear the KO podcast with Stone Cold?
No, I haven't listened to that yet.
I should probably word it that way. But he kind of states it just so as far as like some people complain. Like even some of the people in the current roster will complain about this, that, or the other thing about like just like little nonsensical things where it's like he still to this day feels so damn honored to be a part of the top echelon division of wrestling because he's done it for
15 years
from like the backyards to the churches to the gymnasiums to like he's done that for so long and he's never taken it for granted that like now that he has this kind of treatment, it's like how can you complain about anything? Like I guess they were in Alaska. Obviously it's cold, right? And I guess they got off the plane, but the ride wasn't there yet. So you get people that are like, oh my god, when it's going to be here, blah blah. This is ridiculous. This shouldn't happen. Well, along the lines of that. And he's kind of like, dude, get over it. Like
you're in fucking Alaska.
Like we're in WWE. Like we're living the dream right now. Don't complain about little nonsensical stuff. But that just makes you think of like the whole CM Punk thing of like I didn't get nearly what I deserve. I didn't get my fucking ice cream bars. Like shut the fuck up. Stop complaining. You are living the life right now. And so be it, you're going to get pushed around. It's a dog-eat-dog business, especially when you're working for the McMahon and his friggin' crony son-in-law for Triple H. It's going to be that way. Fucking deal with it and work with it.
And as a huge CM Punk fan, I completely agree. Like, he was, at the time, my favorite wrestler. Like, CM Punk was amazing on the mic, amazing in the ring. But, like, to feel so entitled after they've given you something, like, he had the longest reign in WWF history in the past 25 years, and all he complained about was that he didn't main event WrestleMania. Like, yes, it's happened before. It's happened at 3 other WrestleManias where the title match didn't main event. And he makes it sound like he was the only one, and he was picked out on
I went to Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell had 3 fucking main events, one of which was the first match of the night. Yeah. So... I mean, get over it, man.
Yeah.
What was he gonna do? Yeah, right. I would love to see this, especially with the age we're living in now. Right. CM Punk finally gets his main event, and let's say that it's the WrestleMania where the women they're finally giving the women the last card of the night, and it's considered a co-main event, but the women are going on last. You think CM Punk's gonna go fucking bitch about that on Colt Cabana's podcast? Well, they're not even friends anymore, so probably not. But you think he's gonna bitch about that on somebody's podcast? Probably not. Yeah. But The Rock came back, and as JBL said on the I think it was the Bring It to the Table show, he goes, "When you make more money than The Rock, you can go on last.
Yeah.
Right now, you fucking don't."
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to get caught up on CM Punk.
It's a game, and so many of those people that are in the business know it's a game. They know it's a dog-eat-dog business, and you got to pay your dues. Sometimes you're going to get screwed over. You got to watch your back, so on and so forth. But they know that's the game. Yeah. And he's just so ready to complain about this game is against, it's ridiculous. Anyways,
we'll move on because this is
funny
like
CM Punk hijacked our conversation.
Yeah, literally, this asshole. We need to never have a CM Punk conversation.
What it was
again.
regarding
No, you leave it in. We don't need to speak about it.
What it was regarding was the Minnesota crowd.
No, it was Green Bay. It was Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Wisconsin. Sorry, Minnesota. Yeah, it was...
I mean, these are people that the most exciting aspect of their life is cheese. So, I mean, you can cut them a break there.
Dude, I can't believe that crowd was pretty much dead all night. I don't know if it's the acoustics in the place, it was mic'd up or what.
Crowd.
But they didn't pop for any... Dude, Triple H, not that he doesn't deserve a big pop, but he got more cheers and a bigger pop than, like, Rollins did when his music hit.
Do you think it had to do with his music hitting and him coming out on a crutch and a knee brace and people kind of just like,
if anything, when the music stops, and he's about to hit the microphone, that weird 3-second, 5-second awkward silence where you could, usually people get a chant going, you deserve it or some kind of bullshit like that, right? They could have done some kind of acknowledgement, even if it's a fucking applause.
The Punk chant indicates boredom to me. That's how it came off. It came off like we're bored. Right. We want to sit there and do some other
They don't
shit.
care about Seth Rollins. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm just a huge Seth Rollins fan, and I'm just really, I'm bummed and I'm scared for him losing his momentum that he was just trying to build back again.
I don't know if you knew this. Mike probably knows.
He's so damn good.
WWE rates venues now by crowd reaction, so they have like an ABC rating.
Really?
And then like the A venues they come to a lot more frequently than they do the C venues.
Providence has a very good rating.
Yeah, so Providence has a ridiculous rating.
Yeah, they're
Really?
good.
Like
Probably because it's such a small place that can.
did you go to
carry a lot of sound.
the one before the draft?
Yep.
Yeah, I know you watched it on TV. That place, that might have been the loudest wrestling event I've ever been at. It was so
Really?
freaking raucous. It was ridiculous. But yeah, so they actually rate venues, and they try to hit everywhere, but they go to places less that they don't get the positive crowd reactions at.
Good.
Because they don't. Well, I don't think it's them not rewarding them, but they want to put out the best product they can, and
Sure.
you're not going to do it when you go to a place
at
where
least
they're
for tapings.
flat.
Yeah, not necessarily even go there. Let's just put bigger events on shows that are higher rated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So final segment of Raw, we had a contract signing. I'm so fucking sick of contract signings. I'm sick of the Roman Reigns spear spot through the barricade. But anyway, there was an interesting part at the end where the turnbuckle blew off and stuff.
Before we get into that, can we just point out how Braun Strowman went up to Mick Foley and called Roman Reigns out for a contract signing?
That was hilarious. I want a contract signing.
I want
or
this on paper so that he can't run away. And I was like, what is he talking about? Is he demanding a contract signing right now? This is ridiculous.
Or else.
Yeah. And even Mick Foley was like, or else? What are you talking about? Who demands a contract signing? That's a first.
Braun Strowman
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
I don't want competition. I want the name on the dotted line.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say about
the
it.
turnbuckle spot. I was falling asleep around this time because I just about.
Did you
had
wake
it
up with the ropes on the ground? Like, how'd that happen?
No, actually, I think it was like the last maybe 20 minutes of Raw. I fell asleep in seeing as I have to wake up at 5 a.m. And so what I do is I'll check out like a couple sources on the interwebs the following morning, and I saw that. So I watched like the footage of it too, and just Michael Cole having to just call it like, Braun Strowman just broke the friggin' turnbuckle. And he's like, just stop. We saw that, Michael. You literally don't have to say that.
The only good thing about that
You would just say, oh my god, call it a day. Whatever it may be.
The only good thing about that was I have to give credit because Roman Reigns actually sold it pretty good. Like, he doesn't sell things too often, and he sold that like a
It was
champ.
a good sell. Here's my issue with the turnbuckle thing. People get thrown into that turnbuckle all night and nothing ever happens. Braun Strowman's thrown people into that turnbuckle a million times, nothing happens, and then this one instance it fucking explodes.
Yeah,
like,
it was Roman Reigns who took it, right? Like
Roman Reigns took it like chest first, but it was like
dude, it's ridiculous.
Clearly, it was rigged because he had his hand, like Roman Reigns' hands behind the turnbuckle, and like he pulled it with him.
Think of how fast and with how much weight is being carried. Like say, you'll be in the corner and Big E or Strowman or something like that will just run full force, boom, and just.
That's my point. Like it comes off like such a stunt.
It's
but hey, whatever. It was all right. I guess it served its purpose, but
one last
scumbag.
thing. I know that before we get off of Raw, I know we're gonna go into whatever, but I just want to talk real quick about the Kevin Owens Goldberg match coming up at Fastlane.
Who gives a shit?
Okay.
No, I'm
I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts on it or anything. I know that we talked about it a little bit last week.
We beat it to death over the last few weeks, but we can go over it briefly.
I'll be really quick about it, and I know no one wants to see it. I know people think, man, that this sucks that Owens has to be subjected to such bullshit like this. I mean, obviously, especially if he drops the title. I don't want to see that. I don't think anyone wants to see that. But if we can kind of take a step back for a second and just think to ourselves that, like, there was a point in time where Kevin Owens was kind of just a kid, wanting to be a wrestler in his teens, and seeing Goldberg, thinking nothing of it. And this is from the recent podcast from Stone Cold too.
Really setting the scene here.
Saying like he didn't care for Goldberg nor WCW at all whatsoever. Yeah. He knew of him. He saw him. Thought he was like a rip-off Stone Cold, which a lot of people did. If you were a huge WWF
bald goatee, black trunks, black boots.
Yeah, exactly. And he mentions that too. It's almost a verbatim, except this guy's more jacked, and he's kind of like a rip-off of Stone Cold, right? But just to think of the position of being that young kid, seeing that guy on TV and be like, someday I'm going to be a wrestler, blah, 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 like, right? And then now he's going to a pay-per-view being able to wrestle that very guy.
Yep.
It's just one of those kind of things. It's like it's wild to me to think like from at one point in time you could be watching it on TV as a kid or something and being like, imagine being among those greats.
Yep.
And then you fast forward some time and now you're sharing that ring and it's time for you to put on a show with that individual. Mind blowing. I think that's the only cool thing that match has got going for it.
I think the intrigue...
I just really hope he doesn't have to be forced to friggin' drop this belt to
I think the intrigue of not knowing what's going to happen, and even if he drops the belt, I don't think it's going to be that bad because it'll be a month before he wins another belt at Mania, probably, against Jericho.
Yeah, he's always going to be in some
championship. So he's fine. I'm probably the biggest Kevin Owens fan that I know. Like, I love him, but I don't... It took me a while to get over this, but I don't think it's going to... I think he's just going to lose this.
Yeah.
It
won't hurt him at all.
No,
because I mean, you're talking about Goldberg who beat Brock in a minute and change, if that, and then at the Rumble where you think, oh man, Lesnar's going to get his revenge, he friggin' eliminates him in no time, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's on a tear. Obviously, us knowing these Goldberg and so on and so forth, that's not really believable. What are they doing right now? But at the same time, as far as your average fan and some kind of younger kid, he still looks like that indestructible force.
Absolutely.
So if Kevin Owens is to drop the title to him after having the belt for a pretty good amount of time, then it's believable for those average kids. Yeah. It just sucks that if that does happen, it is to a part timer. When someone like Kevin Owens has put friggin' time in, man, he's put more time in the Indies than Goldberg has in professional career.
Yeah, absolutely,
like literally, which is crazy.
All right, so we have an authority on wrestling first. We have our bonus question, which is a weekly tradition, but this week, BG is providing it. So I give the floor to you, sir.
All right, so it's not an extraordinary question, but I'd like to get your take on it. I'm really curious because I feel like the moment is near. It's around the corner, and I'm sure that there's word going around here and there, and there's different speculation. I would just like to know your opinion on which brand do you think Shinsuke Nakamura premieres on and is a part of, as well as who does he start feuding with off the bat?
SmackDown.
Yeah, I think he's going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah, because Joe just went to Raw, so I can't see him being on Raw.
I'd agree with, I think that he'd be on SmackDown. I think he'd be better utilized on SmackDown. But when he goes there, who does he, where does he fit into a feud, and who does he feud with?
See, the issue with Shinsuke is he has limited English.
Yeah.
That's the big issue.
He speaks okay English.
I think he speaks... Does he speak better than Asuka?
He speaks way better than Asuka.
I think
he speaks better than he gives credit for. Like, I've heard him do an hour-long interview in English, and he's fine. He's all right. I do think he should go to SmackDown. I'm trying to think of, the obvious one is AJ Styles. I think that'd be cool.
I feel like you don't hit that right away. I feel like...
No.
You burn a few, you let a few...
well, hopefully they don't put him with
and
Corbin.
Then get to that point.
Because Ziggler could be a compelling feud for him.
I really think it would be an interesting dynamic to put him with Wyatt.
Put him with Wyatt?
Not as a partner, but feud him with Wyatt. I think it would just be a really interesting dynamic between the two. Sure. And I think
I could see
there's enough charisma
because almost I feel so to work off of that, I would think the mentality part would be Nakamura wouldn't be phased or give a shit about.
He would laugh at all his jokes.
Wyatt's kind of otherworldly persona, and Wyatt would be intrigued, amused by, but at the same time confused by Nakamura's demeanor.
It would be really
so it would
interesting.
be an interesting. I have to agree with you on that.
But he's also coming in at a weird time. I think that with him coming in, if he comes in after Mania, rumors are that they're going to do the draft in June, so that gives you 2 months to do a few.
He doesn't necessarily have to be leaving, though, because how many... It's not like when they do the draft, the entire roster swaps sides.
No, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying, if you do have a chance, you would want to get in an interesting feud with him in that short time before you move one of those main characters. So say you move Wyatt to Raw, which I could completely see happening, and...
I think it's more likely AJ goes to Raw.
I can see that too.
Yeah.
I think the draft is going to be very interesting.
I was thinking that's going to happen, and half of me hopes it doesn't, half of me hopes it does.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm torn, but I was just thinking the same thing.
Well, assuming I can't see them moving Kevin Owens off of Raw.
I could.
No.
I can't.
I don't think so.
I don't
No?
think so. I think
Nope.
he's because the thing is at the end of the
It's a
day,
Kevin Owens show.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Raw is their marquee show.
Yeah.
Like no matter because how many people, casual fans, only watch Raw and don't watch SmackDown,
Absolutely.
even with the brand split.
But you don't think that switch AJ and Kevin Owens and AJ could carry
no,
Raw?
no,
like
I think because I don't think one person carries Raw because it's too big of a show.
Yeah.
So then why couldn't you move Kevin Owens?
Because I think Kevin Owens is going to be on the marquee show.
Okay.
Like I think he's a major draw to that show.
You don't want to
And
see
I
a
can
Kevin Owens old school fist SmackDown shirt that says the
They're
Kevin
not
Owens
going to
show?
make that. Yeah.
Yes, they would.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they would.
You
They
just
have
want a
the whole-
shirt with a fist on it. That's
that,
all right.
That would be interesting.
All right. So we're gonna wrap this one up, and thank you guys for listening once again. We have like 7 episodes out officially now, right?
Yeah.
So we've been going almost 8 months, 2 months
Yep.
with this thing, which is crazy. So we will have Tobin back on periodically, so you'll get to hear his lovely voice. And
some guests.
Yeah,
so once
yeah,
again,
we're not
guys,
something like this.
iTunes, please subscribe. Give us only 5-star ratings. If it's any less than that, we're not interested. Podbean, like it, subscribe to it. I don't know if you can give a rating on there. If you can, do that. Like us on Facebook. Share us on Facebook. We're at 51 likes on Facebook right now. When we get to 100 follows, we're going to have a special giveaway contest. The details of which will be in that podcast around there. So definitely keep an eye out. Thank you guys so much again. Much appreciated, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.